I'm naturally more of an introvert, so when it comes to dealing with people and making them like me, it hasn't always been easy. So these are gonna be 6 different tips that I have found along the way that have really helped me out. And I kind of wish I had seen something like this when I was younger, but hopefully it can help some of you out, whether it's for a job, for making friends, for management, for getting, you know, an interview, whatever it happens to be. These have really made a big impact on my life, so hopefully they help you as well.
Smile. So that might seem pretty obvious, right? When you think about smiling, like obviously if I do that, but it really does work and is really effective. If you think about like The Rock, why everybody really likes him is, well, first of all, he has a great personality, but also he has this infectious smile that you just really feel, and he'll come out and he'll have this great smile. And it really does make a difference. And if you try just when you're at the grocery store or when you're meeting a client, just have a legitimate smile just right before you walk into the room, right before you have that encounter. Just think to yourself about something happy. You're gonna be genuinely happy to meet this person or to see this person. And you see, like if I'm talking to you and I have this big smile on, it's gonna make me feel better, it's gonna make you feel better. It could change somebody else's day as well as your own, as opposed to if I'm just kind of flat-faced and just like, hey, what's up? It's not really gonna make anybody feel better. So just having that warm, inviting smile, and I think it really makes your whole day better, really. And that's why in Batman, why everybody's favorite character is the Joker is because he smiles.
Now I'm always smiling.
That might not be the best advice I have ever given, but smiling does make a huge difference. Just try it out today. The first person you see, give a big legitimate smile and see what happens. All right, the next one is to always try to remember people's names and then use it in a conversation. This can be something that's very hard, especially nowadays. When you meet somebody, you can be like, hey, I'm John, hey, I'm Gabe. And then by the end of the conversation, like in 5 minutes, you have no idea what this person's name is. So when you meet somebody, try to remember their name. Just focus on it for like a few seconds. Repeat it to yourself. Keep it in mind. Maybe even write it down, especially if it's somebody who you're going to be dealing with again and again, like a client. Remember their name right off the bat and then try to use it in conversation, either that same conversation or the next conversation. Make sure you say, hey, John, it's nice to see you again. And then you say, so John, what about this? And you just try to use it in conversation as much as you can, because that'll really make you feel more familiar to them. It'll make them feel more at ease. And it'll make them like you better because you remember their name. And that's really, really important to a lot of people, is their own name and seeing that somebody else cares enough about you to remember your name and to use it. Be legitimately interested in other people. So this is something that's hard for a lot of us, especially if we're in sales or something like that, or you're just trying to make a friend, is to be legitimately interested in other people, because most of the time we just want to talk about ourselves. But if you let people talk about themselves and you ask questions off of that and you really dig deep and really care, and when they're talking, you don't think about what you're going to say, you just focus on what they are saying, and then you ask a question off of that instead of trying to say, let's say somebody says, man, I just stubbed my toe. Be like, man, that's like last week when I rolled my ankles. That's like a better story, and I'm talking about myself. So you really don't want to do that. That really turns people off, is when you're trying to tell your story, you're trying to talk about something that happened to you, something that really like interests you, and then other people try to hijack that and then one-up you, is a sure way to make people not like you. But also not doing that and encouraging that person to talk about themselves and being legitimately interested, even if you probably weren't that interested right off the bat, but then you try to, like find something that there's something interesting about everybody. So just whatever they're talking about, or try to ask them about something that you know about them that you can be legitimately interested in, and then just take real interest in that, and don't try to always bring it back to yourself and tell your stories. Try to make the other person feel important. Now, this can be done by making good eye contact with people and listening again and talking to them, like making them feel like they are very important by giving them all of your focus. And also not trying to flatter people, but to try to find one thing about them that you really, really value, that you think that they do a really good job at, because everybody has something. And then saying that specifically. So instead of saying maybe, man, you edited a great video, I really liked that. That's good. But if you say, man, I loved how you edited that video and you took the sound and you let that go with the video and it all synced up properly and the lighting over here was really cool, very specific things, then they're gonna be like, man, I worked so hard on that. Or like, man, like you're right, that is something that was good. I should be proud of that. So if you pick very specific things instead of very broad things, and you don't try to flatter them, but you are like, actually, that is really cool. Like, wow. Then people will like you more because they'll see how sincere it is, and they'll know it's not flattery. So that will really make them like you right off the bat. Be quick to acknowledge your own mistakes. So I don't know if you guys have ever read the book Extreme Ownership. It's a great book. I'll link that down below. But anyways, he talks about taking ownership for your own mistakes. And this is something that I have used quite a few times, and it really, really works. Now, if you screw up on something, instead of saying, even if it wasn't your fault, like I've had stuff that happened, it's not even my fault, but instead of saying, man, I'm so sorry, this happened and this happened and this happened, just say, you are completely right. I am so sorry. That was unforgivable. I can't believe I did that. You know, this is just 100% my fault. Probably they're going to say, oh, you know what? It wasn't that big of a deal. Just don't let it happen again. But if you try to justify yourself and give excuses, that might seem easier, but it's really, they're going to be like, I don't want your excuses. I want results.
Don't give me excuses. Give me results.
So just try saying next time, you know what, it's 100% my fault. It's unforgivable. I don't understand if you don't even want to work with me again. I can't believe I did that. I am so sorry. But once you do that, they're going to be like, whoa, 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 dude, it's all right. And they're going to start actually coming to your defense. And it's really kind of funny because the more that you demean yourself and you're saying like, no, it's completely unforgivable. Like I'm, you know, like I'm really sorry this happened. You keep blaming yourself. They're going to come to your defense. And it's going to be like a little game where the more you go, the more that they're going to defend you and they come onto your side. So really, guys, give this a try next time. It's really scary to do, but like it works. Have fun with it. So obviously most people like people who can tell a good joke and has a sense of humor and is funny, and that's kind of a difficult thing to do. So something that I like to do right ahead of time is to go ahead and get in the right mindset before I meet somebody. So if I'm about to meet a client or something, I will take a few minutes beforehand, get myself in the right mood, listen to a good song, tell myself a little joke. That sounds like I'm a crazy person, but if you can laugh at your own jokes, you know you're in a good spot. Wow, see, I'm laughing at my own jokes. I'm an idiot. But then if you're in that type of mindset and you're smiling and you have a sense of humor, you're already in that mood, then you're able to crack a joke when you meet somebody, and it just really makes things easier. And one person who does this really well is Matt Diavello, where he can take a really serious topic or something like minimalism or finances and make it really interesting by adding a few jokes in there, and then you instantly like him, even though the rest of it is relatively, like, there's not a lot to it. Just those one or two jokes can make you like him instantly, even if you've never seen any of his stuff before. A lot of other popular YouTubers will do that as well. They'll turn everything, even if it's a negative thing, they'll try to turn it into a funny joke or a self-demeaning joke, something like that. So just try to have fun with it. So to make somebody like you instantly, you really want to show them that they have your full and undivided attention and that you really are valuing what they're saying. You really make them feel important. And to do this, you want to make sure you don't have your phone on you, or at least you're not checking your text messages, your Snapchat alerts, your email, whatever happens to be your phone calls. Just let it go for about like 5 or 10 minutes, however long the conversation is. Don't whip it out and check it and be like, yeah, one sec, I just need to take care of this. Most of the time, it can wait 5 minutes. That's just something that really doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies. If somebody's checking their phone instead of looking at you and like showing that they're actually interested in you, it's just something that kind of bugs a lot of people. And also, you want to make sure that you maintain good eye contact and that you're focusing on them and not on everything around you.
Because you guys can see the difference here, right? If I'm talking to you and I was kind of like, I think you should really make good eye contact because it really helps people out, as opposed to like, whoa, I think you guys should make good eye contact because it really helps people out when you're focused right on them and they can tell that you're really paying attention to every word you say and not just kind of like, focusing on everything else, listening to other conversations, losing interest in whatever they're saying. That'll make a huge difference, especially for the first few minutes. You don't want to be creepy and like overstare, but you want to maintain good eye contact. All right, guys, so a quick recap. We got smile. Remember people's names and use them in conversation. Be legitimately interested in others. Make the other person feel important. Be quick to acknowledge your own mistakes and use extreme ownership. Have fun with it and be as much like the Joker as you can. Pay attention and get off your phone, especially when you're trying to have conversations. Don't be whipping out your phone and checking text messages and answering every single alert you get. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, please subscribe. Maybe hit the like button if that's something you want to do, but especially subscribe. That'd be really cool. That's all I got. Next week, you, me, right here, or right wherever you're watching your video. I'm sorry about the eyeballs in the split screen. I could not figure out how to get rid of those. I just figured out how to do this yesterday, so I'm sorry for that.